And sir, my next question is about the involvement in landmark cases such as Varun Bhatia versus State and Harivyasi versus SFIO. So one was on workplace sexual misconduct and the other one was on banking regulation. So sir, was there any moment in your career or any case that was the turning point?
Oh, not one.
Many.
There's so many. See, I'll tell you. You referred about Varun Bhatia. We have to understand one fundamental issue, and that is, irrespective of gender, it is the state duty to protect each and everyone, their rights, their sense of security. It's a state responsibility. And that is why an institution has been created. And that institution is public prosecutor. And I think yesterday or day before, there is a judgment that has come from the Supreme Court for appointment of the public prosecutors. Pick up those who are performance, not on the basis of political lines. I was reading it somewhere yesterday, or maybe on online or somewhere. The judgment has come from the Supreme. Justice dispensation is essential, and here, in some cases, what happens is that there is in India the tendency, even before a law is enacted, the whole process how to misuse is planned. I don't know what kind of mindset is working, and if the effect of it is the very purpose for which the law is enacted, it gets lost. Take, for example, initially when 498A was introduced, when there was so much of crime, bride burning, this and that, and cruelty, no civil society will allow that kind to happen. And that should not happen, because it is essential to provide them proper security, and the law is there. But then what happened? Over the years, things have changed. Initially, bail, oh no, get out, no bail granted, whether the father-in-law is involved, mother-in-law is involved, the relations are involved, anybody. And today the things have changed. But why? Why? The law remains the same. But the trend of the judges has changed, because people start misusing the process.
Very true.
That is why some good laws, take for POCSO. I mean, there are certain things, to my knowledge and understanding, which perhaps I may not be able to mention it here. But the fact of the matter is, for some, it has become a business. Why? I don't know. Whether it is because of the police, whether it is because of the corruption, or whether it is because of some political considerations, or the people, those who are implementing. But the fact remains, unless we are able to enforce a law in its true sense at the ground level, and the officers, those who deal with it, they are true and honest, with all dedicated efforts, in cases of genuine cases of harassment and all that, action should be taken, and they must segregate that, yes. And unless that happens, the system cannot improve. You can't render justice to the people. We will not be able to segregate. Why? I need not mention the details of Varun Bhatia matter. But supposing if there is some grievance in the office, now as long as the authorities or the police is able to find out genuinely that the male officer is at fault, why should they proceed? In some cases, we have been told, मैंने कहा यार इसमें FIR तो बनती नहीं, आपने कैसे कर दी? इसमें तो चार्जशीट बनती नहीं, आपने कैसे कर दी? कि सर महिला की कंप्लेंट है तो करनी पड़ेगी. I mean, that kind of tendencies are really destroying the system. That doesn't mean that I'm saying that don't do it, but you must act fairly. If the fair system doesn't function, we are destroying the fundamentals of our justice delivery system itself. And that is unfortunately what is happening. The crime, and with great respect, one of my friends is here from media. Somebody just met him, I told him just now that media is playing a major role. What extent the media should deal with a crime is very important for the Supreme Court to lay down. Media today is far more expert, they are more quick. They reach the crime scene first. They conduct all kinds of investigations. They start recording evidences. They do anything and everything. Whereas the police, even before the police reaches and does something, you will find a judgment on by a media delivering with great respect. That is not the responsibility given to the media. Yes, in case the police officer is playing hanky-panky,
Yes.
he is not doing genuinely the investigation, media must jump in and see to it that justice is done. But not that you yourself take over the investigation and even start delivering judgments and pronouncements, so and so is guilty, so and so is not guilty, and this is what. If we allow all that kind of things, then ultimately the system gets destroyed. And I don't know why the Supreme Court should. There were some petitions filed also, the role of media in crime, but nothing concrete seems to have happened so far.
I think that is a balance that we need to maintain between right to freedom of expression and to what extent that freedom is there, with that proper kind of regulation. And you also touched on that discrimination part, wherein I think our law allows that positive discrimination for women and children. You told how that can also be misused and might lead to, unexpected result. I think recent news also says the same. Many men have been committing suicides over the issue they have been facing in their divorce cases due to the false or like fake dowry allegations and all. Yes, so you rightly pointed it out, and that was an eye-opener answer indeed, sir. So my next question is, as I told you, are a prolific writer, and your article on how the government is actually pushing, should push for an all-India judicial service. So when you take that pen and write an article, what goes in your mind? Like what kind of, content do you prefer? That a thought-provoking one, or like some action it should lead to, or has anything interesting happened with that?
There are certain fundamental issues when we talk about the judiciary. If I look at it and go according to the framework provided in the Constitution, I think it's well thought of and a wonderful system that has been provided under the Constitution. Frankly speaking, the High Court is of a particular state is the final authority, because the power under 226 is much, much wider than 32 to the Supreme Court of India. Why? Because High Court is well aware of and conversant with the local conditions, area-wise, the kind of people, how people behave, how they conduct themselves. So all those things are very necessary to understand when you decide on a particular case.
Yes, sir.
You can't have specific yardsticks to apply everywhere. The question of All India service, district courts basically, they are subordinate to the High Court. But maybe little out of context, I may even mention this today. Unfortunately, if you look at the administrative side, the High Courts are also by and large becoming subordinate to the Supreme Court, which the Constitution doesn't provide. There's a serious development which is happening after the coming into the collegium system. Those are questions which somebody might at some stage debate, discuss and understand it. As far All India judiciary services are concerned, judicial services are concerned, the basic idea is slightly different. Of course, under the Constitution so far, every High Court, the district courts are subordinate to the High Court. So High Court is the greater responsibility to ensure. And that also on a same pattern, because the district judge or the civil judge or the additional district judge or the sub judge, they are the ones who deal with the local litigation. Now, All India pattern was to avoid some kind of misunderstanding, in the sense that, like what we have All India services, IAS, IPS and other services. In a way, the mixture can be good also, it can lead to adverse consequences as well. But the fact remains, as far as the All India services are concerned, since the state governments are not in favor of it and they are opposed to it, so despite the Supreme Court directions, it's not getting through. It's hanging like, what you may call it, that I think quite long it's kept pending. And one of the main reasons why the district court judges are opposed to it, that it will lead to transfer from one state to another state, which is obviously, take for example, a judge in Delhi would certainly not like to go to Tamil Nadu. He may face language problem, he may face other problems, and likewise from state to state. So those were the issues that really are coming in the way, apart from the financial constraint of the state governments, which is one of the reasons why it is not getting through. But the overall, looking into the conditions and the situations today, if I may put it correctly, I think with the workload, with the requirement of the citizens of India, and to deliver justice to them, I think we need to do something more and ponder over and decide largely to bring reforms and improvements in the justice delivery system. What is happening is good. What is going on is good. No doubt about it. But at the same time, it needs more and more reforms and improvements in the system.
Yes, sir. So I think while you were answering, one quick thing came to my mind. If justice is a chariot, then the two wheels are advocacy and adjudication, right? So what is your opinion that when a candidate appears for the judicial exam, should the candidate have an prior experience as a lawyer?
It's a very tricky question, if I may say so. And if I am honest enough and I have the courage to answer, see, you refer two things here. Why was it that the rules provided for 3 years experience earlier? The reason being, you are conversant with the judicial system. The first step, the initial, how you conduct in the court, what as a lawyer you are supposed to be doing, how to behave with the judge, how to talk to fellow colleagues, and how to deal with the clients. Even as a judge, this initial training is essential. You can't possibly, and we're facing a lot of problems in the system. You can't just pick up a student from law college who, because of his study or book, he may be successful and gets appointed as a judge or a magistrate, but he is missing the basic experience and knowledge of the judicial system. Which, you see, what is happening today, although I know some of my friends would not be happy with what I'm saying, but if you go to the fact, the earlier system of 3 years experience was essential and the best system, rather than having a student directly from the college to preside over a bench as a judge. You talk to me another important issue here. Two wheels of a chariot.
Yes, sir.
What is all about it? The two wheels are basically the bench and bar.
Yes, sir. Very correct.
And it's also a fact, both of them, unless they are sound enough, unless there is a harmony and cohesiveness between the two, the system can't work.
Very true.
But what is happening? One wheel has gone. One wheel is not working today. Because the bar associations, which has a greater responsibility to perform and to see to it that the system works comfortably and to the satisfaction of the bench and bar, both.
Yes, sir.
As well as the litigant. Without that, it's become very difficult to move the chariot. Therefore, there has to be a balancing between the two, and that major role is to be played by the bar associations. And we have stalwarts in the bar. We had stalwarts in the bar. Those could stand, and those who were really doing remarkable performance and work. And we still need things to improve on those lines. I think that's how only the chariot will move smoothly.
Very, very true. So I think I cannot agree more with you regarding this. And especially when you told about that college student entering into the judiciary, I think you absolutely, pointed it the right way, because unless a person puts himself or herself in the shoe of the, advocate, the understanding will be like better when you do that, right? So yes, I cannot agree more with that, sir. So one more thing you had mentioned about how a life of a victim is totally in the hands of the advocate when they put all their trust on the advocate, right? And I think ethics and integrity is a very crucial thing that an advocate must remember. And you were also telling about corruption and a lot of other aspects. What is your message to the young legal minds because they are going to, start their journey as a lawyer, and it's the right time to mold the students. So what is your advice to them, sir? What would you want them to do? Because yours is a very magnificent career. What is your advice to them, sir? What should
Oh,
they take care of?
I'll tell you one thing which we have to understand is the approach of the young students, those who are doing law, has slightly changed. Because I notice that it is more commercial oriented. They do it because they find it that they have to settle in life. Therefore, most of these students, they have their eyes on the corporate law.
True.
I don't blame them, because today, when the profession is growing, we have to make sure that everybody has to live and survive. But how many of them, as I said earlier also, how many of them come and join the legal profession? Since the legal profession is not a commercial activity, it's a totally different kind of dedication and orientation required. Therefore, to be honest, as an advocate, we must follow the ethics and norms laid down by the Bar Council of India. We must also maintain it. We must also, even it's our responsibility as the Bar Council to see that it's duly enforced. And unless until that happens, if the fundamental issues is erosion of such issues, then certainly we will not be discharging our duties honestly and diligently as an advocate. Therefore, my advice to all the young minds, those who are studying in the law colleges and schools, that please focus. If you really want to join the bar, if you really want to be an advocate and as an excellent advocate, then just focus on how to behave as an advocate, how to conduct yourself as an advocate, how to give best of your mind and be innovative. Why innovative? I'm telling you, which everybody must understand and understand. Of course, the Supreme Court judgment is binding, pan India. But at the same time, you as an advocate is competent and authorized to come out and say, look here, this judgment is wrong on this point. This is my view. Emphasize it on it. Read it. Come out with new ideas and theories. You have a right as an advocate.
Yes.
You can disagree with the judgment. You can have your own thought process, because that is the right, freedom given to you in law. Freedom of expression, it goes wide and wide. Therefore, as an advocate, you are the master of your own. Of course, the law which has been laid down by High Court, the Supreme Court, is enforced, it's guiding, it helps the society, but at the same time, if you come out with new ideas, if you come out with and deal with new challenges, that is really something which, as an advocate, would be an excellent performance if you can do it.
Sir, I think this was a wholesome discussion. And you reminded us that being an advocate is not just wearing a black coat. There's more to it. It's a multifaceted thing. And you reminded us our powers And yes, all your words are like taken seriously, and I'm sure you have inspired the young legal minds already, sir. And let's wrap up, today's discussion with a quick rapid fire round, sir. Are you ready for it? You need to tell me what quickly comes to your mind when you hear my questions, sir. So, are you ready, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
So, my first question is one legal reform you wish to see in India.
Oh, it's a very difficult question to answer, but yes, we need to reform the judicial system itself.
Okay, okay, sir. So, next question your favorite book or article on law?
Fundamental rights.
Brilliant, sir. And most challenging case you have handled? Quick, sir.
Bhatia? What's wrong?
Yes, okay. If not law, what career you would have chosen?
Now it's an old story. I even wanted to go to the army also.
Okay, both way the nation would have
Yes,
benefited.
I did appear, of course, in NDA, but couldn't qualify. My friend went there. So I think he retired as a colonel or something. But we're good here.
I think the legal fraternity needed you, and I think the destiny took you to the right place. And today we are like lucky to have you here on our show. And Mittal sir, it has been an absolute honor to hear from you. It was more like what all things we get to read from the textbook that was limited, but what we heard from you, it actually opened a whole lot of horizon for us, and we'll be thinking from what that inception in our mind that you have put, we'll be working on it and we'll be adhering to what all things you have said, sir. So your journey, your wisdom, and your vision not just inspires the legal minds, but I think it will inspire anybody who want to create an impact in the society, sir. And I truly mean by saying that, sir. Thanks again.
I would conclude by saying the hard and honest work is the key to the life. Destiny is not, of course, in your hands.
And so, sir, so thank you so much, listeners. So
Thanks
stay
to all
tuned.
of you. Thanks to all of you, and thanks to you, Lakshmi, who has given me this
So
opportunity.
actually, it's our faculty, Akhil sir, and team. And
Yeah, thanks to Akhil also, and and your vice president and everybody. MERI in particular was given this opportunity to be amongst the students.
So, thank you so much, listeners, and stay tuned for our next chapter that will be up in the month of March. So, please subscribe to our social media channel so that you don't miss out any updates from us. And also, until next time, stay, learning, growing, and exploring. Thank you so much, and namaste.
Now, thank you very much. Thanks.